It's the end of January, that means it's time for my first haul of 2021. I've got some omnibuses, I've got some new releases, I even managed to find 2 whalettes, and they are... woof woof! Hey guys, it's me Marcus, aka the Maddogg, and we're back with another video. It's the end of January, we've already made it for the first month of 2021, and it somehow felt both slow and quick at the same time. After learning how much I'd spent in 2020, I wanted to make more of a conscious effort to make sure that I was being sensible with the books that I was buying this year. I feel like I've done that now, but before we jump into my haul, you know that we've got to do the Maddogg Comic Haul competition. Yes, it's that time of the video where I turn the spotlight onto you and we can showcase some of your hauls and some of the great books that you've bought this past month. This month though, I have had to do things a little bit differently because there was just so many of you that supported this movement, the Maddogg Comic Haul competition, that I was absolutely blown away by it. So if you don't see yours at the beginning, that's not me disrespecting your haul or anything like that. Make sure that you stick around to the end and you'll probably see it there. Unless of course you've sent this in at a point where I've already filmed this, so it won't be possible for me to really say anything about it until next month's haul. But for now, we're going to showcase these 5. And starting it off, this got sent in pretty much just before this video started filming. It's from Specs Comic Corner, who has supported this channel from day one, and he has got a great haul right here. He's got the volume of East of West that I need. He's also got Blade of the Immortal Deluxe Edition Volume 1. He's got Loki Agent of Asgard, which is something that's gone quite out of print and I also did a review of, so hopefully you enjoy checking that out after you've read it. He's pretty much got the equivalent of the Batman by James Tinney and Omnibuses in Deluxe Edition, so good on you for picking those up. And he's also got Wonder Woman Dead Ear, so you've got a really good variety there, and thank you for sending it in. Next up, you know we can't do the Maddogg Comic Haul competition if we haven't got an entry from Zoom Comics. And of course he's got his beautiful puppy there, Joy, the truest mad dog that we've ever had on this channel, and he's also got a great range of books. So he's got the Annihilation Omnibus, which is something that I really enjoyed when I reviewed it, and he's also got 2 of the Dark Horse Library editions in Aliens Dead Orbit and Alien vs Predator, and he's also got the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which is just a classic all around. After that, I'm putting my haul to shame. It's our boy Comic Bound, who did a live stream with me earlier on in the month, so if you haven't checked that out, make sure that you do. He's also got his own channel, which is just improving video after video, and he's already done one on this haul, so after you finish watching mine, I'd recommend checking that one out. But as you can see here, it's just omnibus heavy. He's got Batman, 100 Bullets, Why the Last Man, JSA, Cosmic Universe by Donny Cates. I could go on forever about some of the books that he's got here, but I'd just recommend checking out his video, and thank you for sending that one in. But spoiler alert, this is not the last time that you're going to hear his name in this video. After that, we've got Hellspawn 81, and to be fair, it'd just be easier for me to tell you the books that they haven't got in this month's haul. There's just so much good stuff in here, and obviously it was the birthday and Christmas as well, but you can't deny just the sheer amount of stuff that they've got here. So just picking out a few, else I'll be here all day. You've got Big Damn Sin City, you've got some of the Dark Horse Deluxe editions, you've got a Green Lantern Omnibus there and the Invisibles, you've got some Invincible, some Image tiles, you've also got a lot of Absolute editions in there as well. I'd just recommend going onto his Instagram and checking it out for yourself, because there's just so much stuff here, like, god damn. Little bit ironic as well that something from Hellspawn made me say god damn. Then we've got a haul from Physical Media Love, which just missed out on being featured in last month's haul, so it's pretty much his December haul, but you know, I'm going to show it here. Deal with it. He's got some great books here. So he's got the DM variants for the Savage Sword of Conan omnibuses, he's got Injustice Volume 2 and Absolute Carnage, he's got the first 2 volumes of Deadly Class, the 3rd volume of Criminal, and he's also got the Postal Complete edition, which, you know, I did a review of, cheap plug. Some great books there, and I also just love the pictures that you put up, so make sure you check them out. So those are the 5 that made it into the beginning of the video this month. Make sure you stick around to the end and you can see all the entries that were submitted this month. But again, just to adjust your expectations there, it's no prize for winning it, because as we know, I am useless at sending things out. But anyway, at the start of January, I wanted to pick up a few books that I wanted to fill some gaps with. The first one of which was the Batman Mad Love Deluxe Edition. Ironically, this actually wasn't filling any gaps, it was just filling like a mental gap in my head, because I kept thinking that I had this, but I remember selling it a few years ago. I've recently been rewatching Batman the Animated Series as well, so this art style is something that I'm already in love with, and I can't wait to just pour over this once again and see if I remember it how I did in those early years. Before I show this next book, if you are comic bored, make sure you look away now, because I finally wanted to complete the Revival Deluxe editions, so I needed to get Volume 3. You might remember last month that I picked up Volume 4, so I was missing this as a gap, and I was just panicking that this was going to go out of print and never be able to complete this set. I've heard very mixed things about this. Some people love this story, some people, and I quote, would would only use this to fuel a fire. I kind of like stories that are controversial like that, where it's like there's no one in the middle that says it's just okay, so I'm looking forward to reading this. Probably going to be about Halloween because that's when I do horror themed stuff. So hopefully you're looking forward to a review of this 10 months from now if it is that I survived that long. But for better or worse, I am glad that I finally completed this series. Now, if your name is Highland G, make sure you are watching for this next one because I finally, off your suggestion, picked up the Velvet Deluxe Edition. Actually, it's not labelled as a deluxe edition or anything like that, but it pretty much is. But this is by Ed Brubaker and Steve Epting. It's weird, I'm almost instinctively saying Sean Phillips after I say the name Ed Brubaker. But this is the team that brought you the beginning of possibly the best Captain America run of all time, so I needed to pick this one up. Like I said, every time I do a stream with Highland G, he's always talking about how great of a book this is, and I feel like all the other books that I've picked up from Ed Brubaker is something that I've really loved, so why would I miss out on this? And when you think of Ed Brubaker, it's always his collaborations with Sean Phillips that tend to stay in print, but even some of them don't, so I don't really know what I'm talking about. But from the discussions that I've seen about Ed Brubaker, Velvet always seems to be the book that nobody talks about, but I've heard great things when you do ask people directly. So I'm really looking forward to this. I might crack it open in about May because I'm thinking of doing a month called Image, so it's just going to be all about image books and stuff like that, maybe some cool top 10 lists as well. If that's something that you'd like to see me do, let me know in the comment section below and I can start planning it now. But anyway, I'm glad that this is making it into the dog pound because I'd hate if this went out of print and it was something that I could have got for years and years on end. In a similar fashion, the next book that I picked up might seem a bit stupid right now, but it's Fatale Volume 2. Now, I remember in a newsletter from Ed Brubaker, he said that there was due to be a reprint of Volume 1 of this, but there was no mention of Volume 2. That was the reason why I didn't pick up Volume 2 before, because of the fact that I just couldn't find Volume 1. But because of the fact that there's that clear indication from Brubaker that they're going to bring Volume 1 back in print, I thought it was about time that I jump on Volume 2, even if it means that I have to have this on my shelf for about a year whilst I'm waiting for that first volume to come back in print. This is a book that I've heard nothing but good things about, and I really want to read it all. Now, before I show you the next book, I want to ask you a question, and I'm going to give you time to answer in the comments below. What is the best thing about Christmas? Now, these are your options. I'm just going to wait a moment. Now, out of these 4 options, the correct answer is absolutely none of them, because of course the answer is Christmas sales. Forbidden Planet had a great sale on, but there was only one book that I managed to get my hands on because everything else managed to sell out quicker than I could actually put it into my basket, and that was Booster Gold Future Lost. This is the Dan Jurgens run, but the one before 52 and stuff like that, and I've wanted to pick this up for a while, and it was only about £10, so how was I going to say no to that? I know I need to get that first volume, but it's something that's probably going to be in next month's haul, but I'm just really glad that I managed to find this at a great price. And I don't hate this format. I don't hate just the standard hardcover. Sure, I would love a Booster Gold Omnibus at some point, but I'd rather it be stuff after New 52, and I'm really happy with this format. It's made me question if maybe I should pick up the John Byrne Superman and Wonder Woman hardcovers, because I like this format, and maybe if there was more volumes like this, I'd like it even more. So I'm on the fence. I don't know if eventually they're going to do like a Wonder Woman and Superman Omnibus by John Byrne, so in which case I'd hate the fact that I've got these, or is that just wishful thinking? I really don't know, but I'm just glad that I've got this one, and I got it for such a good price that I really can't complain. Which, if you know me, I love to complain, so that is surprising. The first omnibus that I picked up for this month was one that I was really looking forward to, and I know that a lot of you guys were as well, and that was Injustice Gods Among Us Volume 2. I read the first omnibus of this in trade paperback, so now I've finally caught up to where I was and I can start reading again. I love this series, I love this game, I'm really looking forward to what they do and where they take this universe, and I'm hoping that they do an omnibus of Injustice 2 and stuff like that. I am really surprised that this got a Volume 2 though before Batman by Scott Snyder, but I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. The fact that we got a second volume of this is great to me, and I really love more than anything the fact that the spines actually match up. I was half expecting them to just put the same image of Superman down here and just fuck us all over, but luckily we got lucky. DC finally knew what the fans wanted, so I'm really happy with this book overall, and I can't wait to jump in and read it. Before we get into the rest of the haul, I'd just like to ask you that if you're enjoying this, please give it a thumbs up. Apparently this increases the likelihood of you getting the books that you want in February, but I'm not really a scientist, so I can't really confirm that. As well, if you're new here, you're going to want to make sure that you're part of the dog pound, and the way that you do that is clicking that subscribe button down below and getting your paws all over that bell notification so that you never miss a video. I've got my links for my social media in the description down below, and as well there are Amazon affiliate links, which does greatly help the channel. It doesn't increase the price, I can't see any of your details, it just means that eventually I might be able to finally upgrade this camera. And as well, we're trying to make 20 2021, the year of the Maddogg, and the way that you can help out with that is make sure that you share this video or any other video on the channel wherever you can, because I'm always trying to do bigger and better videos, and the only way that I can do that is from the support of you guys. So I'm glad that you've supported it so far already. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the video, and let's just get back into the haul. Now, I said in the cold open, which pretty much all channels have to do just to ensure that people keep watching, that I managed to find 2 whalettes this month. For anybody that doesn't know, a whalette is basically a smaller version of a whale, so it's something that is still out of print, but you don't really see too many people after it. And you might know that during each lockdown, I've made sure to reach out to different comic shops local within the UK, and I've asked them what they've got on the shelves, and I see if there's anything that I wanted. You know that one of my biggest scores last year was the fact that I managed to find the Fade Out from Forbidden Planet Wolverhampton, and it was from Forbidden Planet Wolverhampton again that I managed to find these 2 books today. The first one is a controversial one, but I really like it, and at the end of the day I was the one who had to pay for it, but it's Moon Knight by Brian Michael Bendis, the oversized hardcover. Honestly, sometimes oversized hardcovers are harder to find than omnibuses that go out of print. This is goofy fun. I pretend that it isn't in continuity or anything like that, and I have a really good time with it. It's got the Alex Maleev art that you know from Daredevil, and you know it is Bendis when he's on his way out of Marvel, so it isn't his best ever writing, but if you just switch your brain off for 12 issues, I quite like this. I know a lot of people don't, but at the end of the day, I read books for me, so I'm sorry if you don't like that. But yeah, this hardcover is quite difficult to get, so when I saw that they had this for cover price, I thought it was worth it because I missed out on it the first time, and it was something that I wanted when it was originally solicited, but I swear this went out of print really quickly. The second whalette that I got is one that I am really happy about, and that is Spider-Man Kraven's Last Hunt Deluxe Edition. What happened to this book? Why did it go out of print so quickly? With the acclaim that this has had for all the years since it's been released, why is it that this went out of print like that? And some good news on my Instagram, I recently put out a poll on what you wanted me to read after I finished Punisher by Garth Ennis, and it was between this and Superman for Tomorrow, and at the minute, at the time of filming, this is currently winning. So maybe to appease all of you that hate the fact that I keep books in cellophane until I read them, maybe it's time that I open one live. Nah, I just can't do it. But I am so happy that I managed to get my hands on it, and thank you to Forbidden Planet Wolverhampton for helping me to find it and sending it across to me safely. But I'm really glad that I finally got a chance to read all this. I think I've only ever read the first 3 issues, and we're talking years ago now. It sounds like it's just classic 80s Spider-Man storytelling. It's got the symbiote suit throughout it, so I'm really glad that I've got this, and I'm glad that it's winning that poll so that I can finally read it. Then we're bringing it back to the omnibuses, because Books Etc. They cost me so much money sometimes, but they seem to get like a boatload of DC books in all at once, and I happen to get quite a few of them. The first omnibus might be the next big book that I read, because sometimes I like having a few smaller books in between a big book, but I'm really looking forward to this one, and I'm surprised I haven't already cracked it open. But of course, it's Batman by James Tynion IV. I've really been looking forward to this. I read the start of this run and I really enjoyed it, but then like I said, I was phasing out of single issues and stuff like that, so I'm really glad that I can catch up on all of this. I love how it incorporates so many different members of the Bat family. I love the art that's going on throughout it, and I just love the fact that it's all in one big massive whammy omnibus. I like that DC, and Marvel seems to be doing this as well, are having a really proactive involvement in bringing omnibuses out of quite recent runs. It never seemed to used to be the case. It always used to be books that were about 20 or so years old, so hopefully this means that it's ushering in that new era. And obviously you've got stuff like Superman by Peter J. Tomasi, and I'm sure there's a few others that I'm forgetting as well, but it seems like they're quite on the ball with which books they're bringing out as soon as they can. After that, and again it's from Books Etc., I've been looking forward to picking this one up for a while, and I was worried at one point that they weren't going to do it in typical DC fashion, but of course it is Promethea Book 3. I like as well that even though it's technically black labelled, they still keep the Vertigo logo down the spine just so that all 3 volumes finally line up, and I love the art from J.H. Williams I. I love the first volume of this, and I'm looking forward to reading it all now that I've got all 3 volumes. I just really hope that they follow up with some Tom Strong. Like, why is that the series that people seem to forget? Like, I always feel like that and Promethea kind of go hand in hand because they pretty much had the same amount of issues. But the set's done, I'm glad I've managed to complete it, and now I'm just looking forward to sitting down and reading it. But whilst I'm here and whilst I'm throwing a few ideas around, I was planning on doing a month that was focused entirely on Alan Moore, and it was going to be called Morgust because, you know, I like me play on words. And I was also going to do a video that was like Alan Moore vs comic companies, and I look at all the kind of altercations that he's had with DC and Marvel over the years, and I present you with all the facts that we've got at the moment. Completely unbiased, and I'm not going to lie, I tried contacting Alan Moore at one point to see if he'd come on for an interview. I know we're a really small channel, but I will try and do whatever I can to bring the best content that I can for you guys. But if that's a month that you'd be interested in, let me know in the comment section below, and that's something else that I can get onto. And the final DC book that I brought from Books Etc. this month is definitely a whammy boy. This might be the whammiest boy that I've had in a while. Yeah, I just know already that that sentence is gonna come back to haunt me. But I said in my pull list that I wanted this one, and it's Books of Magic Omnibus Volume 1. But still, I've heard that this has massive Harry Potter vibes throughout it, and obviously I love the stuff that's been written by Neil Gaiman. I'm really glad that I've got this one. It's making a great addition into the dog pound. It seems like it needs its own square within the Calyx because it's that big, and if there's a second volume that's just as big as this, that's going to be a very whammy series. Now, if you've watched this channel for any length of time, you know that I am definitely not a manga guy. That's not who I am. That's all my girlfriend's manga, and yes, she is definitely real. And for those of you who say that she is real but I've locked her in the basement, I don't even have a basement, I can't afford one, so who's laughing now? But Zavi, which is a website in the UK, were having a sale where they had 40% off on all anime on top of the prices that they've already got. Obviously, I don't know too much about it, so there wasn't going to be too much that I brought, but there were two that I definitely wanted to pick up. The first is mainly for comic bound because of the fact that I got Samurai Jack the complete Blu-ray collection. I'm really disappointed with this as a box set because you can't tell the difference between this and a normal Blu-ray. I was hoping it'd be in like a really nice set, but then I reminded myself that I pretty much paid 25 quid for it, so I really can't complain. Comic bound's more excited than me that I've picked this up. He's really looking forward to me watching it, and we're planning on doing a live stream once I've finished with it, and it's going to be called Samurai Chat. But this is something that I've wanted to watch for ages, and I remember watching the odd episode as a kid, but obviously I haven't watched it in years, and there's just so much great artistic style to it, and I grew up watching the Star Wars Clone series, so this must be something that I need to watch all the way through. But a great addition to my collection, even if it isn't a physical book, so it has to get a mention here. The only other thing that I picked up as part of that sale is One Punch Man Season 1. I watched all of this on Netflix, I absolutely loved it, and even if you're not a manga person like me, this is something that you should probably check out. I feel like this is one of those gateway animes that even if you aren't a particular fan of the medium, you can watch this and still really enjoy it because it's about Saitama, who is this superhero that can decimate any opponent with just one punch. But because of that, he ends up falling into a bit of a depression. He's always trying to hunt like the truest fight that he can find. He's sick of the fact that he can get rid of any opponent in one punch. And it's just so great. The music's amazing in this, the voice acting's great, it's got great action as well. And I also think that this can just put you on both ends of like an emotional seesaw. So some moments you can be laughing your head off, and then in the next moment you can be pouring your eyes out. So I'm really glad that I've got this. I'm looking forward to watching it again. I've heard that season 2 isn't that good, but still, you can't take away just how much I enjoyed this first season. The next book that I picked up was the obligatory one for my girlfriend so that she can't get annoyed at how much I've spent on the other books. I picked up the first volume of Beyond the Clouds. Now, I can't remember if I saw this in one of Omar's videos or maybe it was one of Riley's videos, but it just looked like everything that she enjoys. It's very reminiscent of Studio Ghibli, which is something that she loves, even if it's something that I really can't get into, but wanted to show that I do support her interests, and I believe that this was written and illustrated by a French artist. So just looking through it, it's got a very steampunk vibe, and it's just got a style that isn't like traditional manga. Like, it looks more like a European comic, so if you're somebody that enjoys stuff like Black Sad or Castle in the Stars, maybe this is something that you should pick up as well. Now, we're turning into the books that I picked up in the last week of January, and honestly there were so many that came out, the first of which was the New Mutants Omnibus. Fortunately, I managed to pick this up from Books Etc, so I got it for about 45% off, which I was really happy with. I've really been stepping up my X-Men collected editions, and I really want to learn more about the New Mutants, because I do eventually want to do a who's who in the New Mutants, so I thought that it was worthwhile that I picked up the origins of them. I think as well that they didn't start too long ago that this won't be accessible, like stuff like the original X-Men and books like that, and I've heard that this is better than Excalibur, and obviously I'm going to be a little bit biased with me being British, but if this is better than Excalibur, then I'm more than happy to drop some money on it so that I can get it into the dog pound. After that, and I realised that I just lied because Books of Magic wasn't the last DC omnibus that I managed to pick up from Books Etc, because finally, after months and months of waiting, they got the Legion of Superheroes 5 Years Later omnibus. I've been waiting for this book since September. I love stories that take place after a certain amount of time, and you get to see how everybody's changed, but you also get to piece together exactly how that might have happened. Pretty much like that one episode of Heroes, which is the only one that really holds up today. But admittedly, and I'm just going to be honest with you guys, I don't know if any of you have ever felt like this before, and people are going to tell me that, oh, it's because I only buy books because of FOMO and stuff like that, but I was really looking forward to picking up this book. I like the characters from the Legion of Superheroes that I already know. I like Keith Giffen and especially some of the other books that he wrote around that time, but when I finally got this in my hands, I just didn't find myself being that excited or hyped for it anymore. I'm still glad that I got it, and obviously if they do a volume 2, which I'm hoping that they do with this massive volume 1 right there, and it's weird because of the fact that I was tempted to buy this off Forbidden Planet for about £25 more than what I actually paid for it. So it was something that I really wanted, but it's just weird that I felt like that, and I'm not sure if I'm alone in that feeling. Now guys, I know you're probably worried about me because for the last 6 months or so, I've made sure that I've always picked up at least one Dark Horse Deluxe Edition, and you're probably wondering, where is it? Have I dropped the ball? Or maybe I'm not bullshitting you when I say that I'm not a manga guy. Well, don't worry, because I did pick up Hellsing Deluxe Edition Volume 2. I only got this within the last week, and it's because of the fact that I managed to get a lucky discount code with Amazon. But yeah, I very nearly ended up dropping the ball on the fact that I wasn't going to get a deluxe edition from Dark Horse this month. But I have pretty much caught up with the majority of these. I think it's only Berserk Volume 6 that I haven't got now. I'm not sure what's coming out in February, hopefully there's a few more that are due, but I'm glad that I did manage to keep this tradition alive. We only need one more volume of Hellsing, and then I might read through this quite quickly, because that's one thing that, from the manga that I have read, I do really enjoy that you can just blast through a lot of them. Hellsing sounds really cool, and I've tried my best to avoid a lot of details about this book, but I'm really looking forward to when that third volume finally comes out, and we don't have to wait for like another 9 or so volumes like I'm probably going to have to with Blade of the Immortal, and I can just sit down and read it, but I've now got more of these volumes than what I need, and that feels like a good achievement. Now, the haul should have ended there. I genuinely, hand on heart, thought that Hellsing was going to be the last book that was going to show up for January. But then a miracle happened. As we all know, it's been quite difficult to get the Uncanny X-Men Volume 3. Now I know that some of you have got that and I'm happy for you, but especially across here in the UK, it's been particularly difficult. The vast majority of the other Marvel books that got released on the same day have shown up in places like Books etc, but for some reason Uncanny X-Men Volume 3 was nowhere to be seen. I looked near, I looked far, I looked wherever you are, but for some reason I just couldn't find this book. But then Comic Bound messaged me. After my obligatory praise of his beautiful thumbnails, he told me that he somehow managed to get both the direct market variant of Uncanny X-Men Volume 3 and he also managed to get the standard cover because of the fact that Forbidden Planet had fucked up, and I know that a lot of you, especially in the EU, were affected by that, but he, for some reason, ended up getting the direct market and the standard cover, and he said, do I want the standard cover? But I said no, someone else needs that book more than me. You should don't, I'm bullshitting you. Of course I asked him if I could have it, so I've got it right here. This was one of the last books that I managed to get this month. I'm so happy that he could help me out with this because I've been collecting these as they've been re-released, and I'd hated that I wasn't able to get just Volume 3. He's an absolute lifesaver, so if you're not already subscribed to him, make sure that you do. But this has got some of the best stories from the Uncanny X-Men run. I've already read God Loves Man Kills, and I believe that this has got like the Japanese stuff where Wolverine's going to get married. So once again, mate, thank you. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you sending this to me. You're such a great dude, and hopefully we can do more live streams in the future as well. But just shortly after that got delivered, the actual last book of this month came through. So obviously you can tell that I'm buying these X-Men omnibuses, but the one that I was even more fearful that I wouldn't get is the X-Men by Chris Claremont and Jim Lee Volume 1. But still, I really wanted to make sure that I got this. Jim Lee's one of my favourite artists, even though I know that he isn't even in this book for the majority of it, it's more Mark Silvestri. But yeah, I don't know if anybody's seen this, but they've actually changed the image that is on the spine, so this time it's Dazzler, and I'm not too big of a fan of that. I like the old one where it was Wolverine, but I've heard that that's just for the direct market variant, but admittedly, I prefer this cover over the direct market variant. This was one of those books that I just couldn't afford at the time when it came out. I believe I was just in college at the time, maybe university, and then all of a sudden at the time when I did have a bit more money, this was out of print, and it's been out of print for about 6 years or so. So I'm really glad that Marvel's reprinted this, and I'm looking forward to that second volume coming out as well. I'm just glad that I'm really managing to expand my X-Men collection, and this is going to be a great addition to it. But those were all the books that I picked up for this month, and like I said, I'm trying to be a bit more responsible, so it's probably not as big as some of the other hauls that I've had in the past, but I'm still happy with every book that I've picked up this month. Even Legion, that I said that I wasn't as hyped when it finally turned up, I'm still glad that it's here, and I'm glad that it's made it into this video. But at the beginning of this video, we talked about the Maddogg Comic Haul competition, and if you want to enter that, there are 2 simple ways that you can do this. The first is through our Reddit page, which is r/Maddogg Comic Community. community. Honestly, we've only been doing this for about a month, but there's already so many great people in there that are bringing so much life to that page. I can't always go onto it as often as I can with work and things like that, but you guys are keeping that thing going and I'm really appreciative of it. But basically, all you need to do is take a picture of your haul. It doesn't matter if you've got 1 book or 100 books, just make sure that it looks really cool, get some kind of artistic flair to it. If there's a dog in the picture like we've seen with Zoom, that's always an easy way to get into the competition. Or you can upload it through Instagram and just make sure that you tag me at Maddogg Comics and also include the hashtag MaddDoggHaul. That's with 2 D's and 2 G's, so just make sure that you spell it correctly so that I don't accidentally miss it. But it's been really fun doing this, and honestly I thought that nobody would enter it, but this month alone there's been over 10 entries, which is just amazing to me. And the first one is from Andres, and as you can see he's got both of the Aliens Library editions from Dark Horse. They are some top tier beautifully presented books. Hopefully you managed to get your hands on the Alien vs Predator one as well, and he also got the Swamp Thing Deluxe Edition by Scott Snyder. That's a great title from the New 52 and I hope that you enjoy it. Then we've got the first of 2 hauls from the user that goes by the name of Sammy, and as you can see here they've got some really good complete collections. They've got some Mark Waid Fantastic Four, they've got the Brian Michael Bendis New Avengers, and they've even got some Batman titles in there. So you've got a New 52 volume, and it also looks like they've got a vintage copy of The Dark Knight Returns. Then we've got the second haul coming in from Sammy, and as you can see here they are a massive Spider-Man fan. They've also got the Matt Fraction Iron Man run, which is one of my favourites, and they've also got quite a good stash of the Star Wars books, so hopefully you enjoy all of those. And next up we've got Jason T0607, and he's got 3 books. He's got one that was my favourite book of last year, Envenomed by Donny Cates Volume 1. He's also got Absolute Carnage so that he doesn't have to wait long after finishing that first volume, and he's also got the 3rd volume of Grant Morrison's Batman Omnibus Saga. And then next up we've got a name that I'm probably going to butcher, so I apologise in advance, but we've got Gift to Dario, and he got his first ever omnibus, and he got the Batman by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. You can't really go too wrong with that omnibus, so I'm really hoping that you enjoy it. It was actually the first review that I ever did on this channel before I had any kind of structure or anything like that. Then we've got a very big haul from the user that goes by I Like Batman, and you can tell from this picture alone that he likes Batman and a lot of other characters as well. So you can see there you've got quite a lot of Batman trade paperbacks. Seems like he's got pretty much the entire Nightfall there. He's got Superman Secret Origins, which is a great story. He's also got 2 trade paperbacks that go into Flashpoint, which for some stupid reason is missing from the Flashpoint omnibus. He's also got the first trade paperback of Chuck Dixon's Nightwing. He's also got The Walking Dead, and he managed to get his hands on the 2 JSA volumes, the ones that are really out of print. But he said he got these 3 days before the Stealth reprint was announced, but at least you've got them in your collection, and that is a very good haul, so I hope you enjoy the books that you got there. Again, coming in from the Reddit, we've got Josh100_3, and you can see here he's got a great range of books that are being pushed back by, I think it's 2 King Kongs from what he looks like. But you've got the first 2 volumes of East of West, so good job on picking them up, because it seems like this last printing that's coming out is going to be the last one for a good long while. He's also got the 3 volumes of Miracle Man by Alan Moore, which is something that I've wanted to read as well, so you'll have to let me know if that's worth picking up. So thank you for sending that one in, and we're now going to move across to my Instagram where we've got the hashtag MaddDoggHaul, which is with 2 D's and 2 G's. Then after that we've got Batman and Tattoos, who's got a great range of books here. So he's got all 5 volumes of DMZ, which I still need to get that 5th volume of as well, so hopefully you enjoy reading that. Reckless, which is the new book by Ed Brubaker. He's got both volumes of The Losers, which is something that I just wish they'd do an omnibus now. Both the Irredeemable and the Incorruptible omnibus, and he's got other great books in there as well. I'm not too sure what this Clean Room is. If it's something that's good, maybe just let me know. But thank you for sending that one in. And then after that we've got Akuji the Collector, and although he doesn't have a Mad Dog, he's got a Mad Sloth in there, so it's going to get the stamp of approval from me. But he's just got a great range of omnibuses here. So he's got Batman by Paul Dini, Batman Road to No Man's Land, and hopefully you're like me and you're just praying that they follow it up with the Batman No Man's Land Omnibus Volume 1, Superman Exile, Justice League by Scott Snyder, and he's also got some Batman trade paperbacks in there as well, so thank you for sending that one in. But if you think that's all the hauls that got submitted this month, you're dead wrong, because you guys came out in force this month to support the Maddogg Comic Haul competition. It got to the point where I didn't know whether it was going to be worth to just do a separate video for you guys. But it also made me feel a bit cheap, because there isn't a prize for winning this, and it's a good job because I'd have no money from my own haul if that was the case. But next up we've got a picture from Andrew Coyle. This is actually quite a special one because he's only been collecting books for about a year, so you can see here all the books that he managed to pick up recently. He's got Low Volume 1, he's got the Batman by Grant Morrison, he's got a really good range of both DC books and Marvel books, and then some other stuff as well. If this is already your first year, you're on track to do some amazing things in 2021, and I can't wait to see what you bring in future Maddogg hauls. Next up we've got Fudgy Comics, who's always showing love to the channel, and he's always just commenting on every video that he can, so I really appreciate you sending something in for the Maddogg haul as well. He's got a great range of books here. It seems like he's a massive Robert Kirkman fan, so he's got some of the Walking Dead colour editions, and he's also got the omnibus there as well, and he's also also got the 3 compendiums for Invincible. He's got Watchmen, Preacher, Umbrella Academy, which is something that I reviewed previously as well. So he's just got a great range of books there, and I like that this seems to be a very independent focused kind of haul that we've got here. Then after that we've got a haul from Allied Likes Comics, who won the giveaway that I'm still in the process of sending stuff out for because of the fact that I've been quarantined for quite a bit of time now, but he's just got a great haul here. So as you can see, I'm always going to shout this out. He's got the White Ranger helmet from Hasbro Lightning Collection. That's something that's still at my mum and dad's. I haven't been able to collect it in near enough a year. He's got the Nightwing New 52, Captain America Return of the Winter Soldier, Annihilation, and he's also got some Funko Pops too, so thank you for sending that one in. And I promise you, within the next month, I am going to make sure that all the prizes from the giveaway are actually sent out. I'm not conning anybody, it's just I haven't been able to get to a post office physically yet. Then finally making his way into the Maddogg Comic Haul competition, despite the fact that he's been watching these videos since day one, we've got a boy Ilias, also known on Instagram as Comics Are Live 4. This guy's always got great hauls, and this one's no exception. So as you can see, you've got the Absolute Fourth World, which is just a very whammy boy. He's also got the Shield Omnibus, which you don't really see around too often, and he's also got the Evolutionary War. I know he's a big fan of his epic collections, and I can see there that he's got Captain America Monsters and Men, so hopefully your next month's haul and all the hauls for the rest of 21 are just as good as this. And then finally, the account that's been submitting pictures since we started the Maddogg Comic Haul competition, we've got Father and Son Comics. Again, another great haul that's entering his collection. So you've got the JLA Omnibus by Grant Morrison, both volumes of JLI, and if you're in the UK, you know how difficult it's been to get that second volume anyway. He's got Criminal Volume 3, and he's also got the 3rd volume of East of West, which is the DM variant, which I'm tempted to get because of the fact that the lettering on the spine is red, so it'd match the other 2 volumes anyway. I don't know why they changed it just for volume 3, but anyway, that's not to take away from the fact that this is a great haul, and thank you for sending it in. But if there was anybody that did submit something and maybe it hasn't appeared on here, please don't take it personally. It's no disrespect to you, it's just there was that many that came in that maybe one just fell by the wayside or something. As well, I always do a bit of housekeeping at the end of my hauls, and hopefully you've noticed a drastic increase in the amount of videos that have been coming out this month. I'm making sure that I leave no stone left unturned with 2021. I really want to make sure that if this channel is going to fail, it's because my content's shit and not because I'm lazy. So I'm bringing more videos out than there was before, and I'm also bringing out bonus videos on top of the schedule that I've already put out. And I also stuck to my promise of making sure that I do at least 1 live stream a month, and I'm planning on doing that in February. I'm not sure which day it's going to be, or which date I mean. It's definitely going to be a Friday because I feel like that's the best day to do it. We can all have a little drink and just chill out. Comic Bound's already said that he's happy to join in if it is that he's free on the same day, so hopefully that can line up nicely. But also, who are some people that you just want to see me chill out and talk with? Because that's the thing, I want to broaden this community. I want to make sure that we all feel like we're all part of the same thing. So if there's anybody that you want to see feature on it, let me know in the comment section below and I'll reach out to them. But also, you've probably noticed that I've started the Maddogg News Network. Now, I'm hoping that this is something that can really eventually take off and be really useful to all of you. If you haven't checked it out already, I'd really appreciate if you did, because obviously I brought the green screen just for it. I wear a suit every time and it's quite a lot of work. On average, it's taken me about 3 days just to do one of those videos. We've also got our incompetent weatherman that tells you about all the single issues that are coming out for the next week, and he's going to start taking on the responsibility of telling you about all the omnibuses and oversized hardcovers, because sometimes there's last minute date changes that I feel like people should be aware of, and I really want the Maddogg News Network to become like the one-stop shop that you can just come to once a week and get updates on all your comic movie news, and just get everything that you need in one place. Everybody that's watched it so far has seemed to really enjoy it, and hopefully we can keep that momentum going, because yeah, it's pretty knackering doing that, I'm not gonna lie. But I've seen so many of you sharing the videos already, and I know I don't get a chance to reply to every single comment, but I do make sure I try my best to. It's just, there's only so many hours in the day. That's why if you're new here, now is the time when you should be joining, because this month alone, I'm making sure that I'm doing Whale Watch next. I've got my pull list, we've got new episodes of the news. I'm gonna be reviewing both Punisher by Garth Ennis and also Spider-Man Kraven's Last Hunt. I've got more episodes of Who Is, more episodes of Where to Start, and I'm also starting a new series which is going to be called Missing the Issue. This is a series where I take an omnibus like JLA by Grant Morrison and I take a look at all the issues that are missing. I tell you where exactly you can find them, what happens in them, and if it's even worth trying to find them. So hopefully that's something that you guys enjoy, because I've always had the mantra that anybody who clicks on any of my videos value their time. I'm going to do that, and like I said, the support that I've seen so far is amazing, and hopefully the dog pound can just continue to grow, and hopefully I can really take this channel far. At the minute, it is pretty much like a second full-time job. job and I'm trying my best to stay afloat with it, and the support from you guys is what's keeping me going at the minute. Hopefully it's evident in the quality of the videos. I know obviously I need to get a better microphone and a better camera, and that's something that I am going to try and get within this year. But I'm going to leave this video there. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, and if you didn't like this video, why did you get this far? And if you're new here, now is the best time to join the dog pound. We're only going to try and get bigger and better from here, so make sure you get pulls all over that subscribe button and click the bell notification so that you never miss a video. Check out my links, and like I said, I've got Amazon affiliate links down below if you really want to help the channel. And if you can, it is greatly appreciated if you share this video wherever possible. But like I said, I've got Whale Watch coming out in a few days. We've got the news hopefully tomorrow by the time when I think this video is going to come up. But until the next one, just make sure that you stay safe, stay reading the best books that you can find, and stay mad all you dogs. Woof woof, see you at the news.